Now, maybe you're a Christian man like me and you've made a lot of mistakes in dating in the past, but in this video, I want to tell you the number one dating mistake you need to avoid, which is dating a woman that God does not even want you to be with. See, it's so easy as men to rely on logic and our own understanding when choosing someone that becomes our spouse eventually. But Proverbs even warns against this, right? Because in Proverbs chapter 3, we are told to trust in the Lord with all of our heart and what? Lean not on our own understanding. See, it's not just enough for a woman to be pretty, to share your values, and heck, to even be a Christian. Because with billions of people on this earth, it's not God's will for you to marry multiple women, right? You have to look at the big picture here, which is making sure that when you date a woman, throughout the process from day one and onwards, you are submitting yourself to the Lord and constantly asking for his guidance, which should include whether or not you should eventually marry this woman. I've been there where I was relying on my own understanding. And then when the situation was already messy, I finally said a prayer saying, hey, God, do you want me to propose to this woman next week? And then he revealed to me her heart. And I realized I made a big mistake. I basically just wasted a year being with a woman I should have never entertained because she even showed flags from the get-go that I chose to ignore. And even me as a man, there were mistakes I was making too, and God was revealing that. And so really when you rely on God to help you decide who your future spouse is going to be, it needs to be a continuous submission to him. You can't just say, oh, if she's a Christian, then God clearly wants me to marry her. You don't know that. He might have a plan for her to meet her spouse in a whole other country, to do ministry in Africa, to take on a different job that means she's not going to even have time for marriage for a decade or two. You just don't know. And so, again, we can use all the logic and reasoning in the world to try and justify an emotional choice of dating a woman and marrying her. But again, you have to remember, God is our leader for a reason. See, if you look at the structure of a relationship and marriage in general, right? We're told in Ecclesiastes that a cord of three is not easily broken. It's not just you and her. God should be at the center and the head of it. So making sure to remember that God is bringing you your future spouse. We cannot just rely on our own understanding and logic. Because if you do this and you just rely on making sure she doesn't have red flags, right? Like in the video you can see on your screen right now, that falls into the trap of a worldly view of dating. Just because she's loyal, just because she treats waitstaff nicely, she has a good relationship with her parents, she's a believer. Again, you could think everything is going so well, and then you're like, hey, God, I'm good. I'm going to marry this woman. And if it was that easy, even for Christians, why is the divorce rate so high? See, you have to be willing to wait on the Lord. And just because an opportunity presents itself, it doesn't mean that he has chosen her for you as the kingdom spouse in your future. So making sure to not only pray to him when you first go on those first few dates and ask God, hey, should I even go out with this girl? You want to make sure to continue referring to God for his guidance. Date 1, date 3, 3 months into dating, before your proposal, after you propose, heck, even after you're married. I'm married. I got married last year, and I still go to the Lord regularly for guidance. There are days that are harder. There are days where I feel like my brain is just in a loop, and I just need him to ground me a little bit and show me to be that man I signed up to be. And so remember that if you just rely on surface level check boxes, you could really run into a world of hurt. And so maybe you're wondering now, okay, well, I'm praying to God and I don't get an answer. And that happens, right? Sometimes God doesn't give us a blatant yes or no. And I'll be honest, that's the hardest part about decision making in general, isn't it? It's hard because we're given free will, and that could be a blessing and a gift too. But then we're also afraid not to mess up, and we don't want to displease the Lord. And I've been there with you on it. It's one of the hardest things. But part of it also is making sure that you're looking to see if she's even worth marrying, if her heart is for the Lord, and if she's a believer in Christ, and looking at how your faith is when you're around her. Are you growing deeper in your faith? Because those can be some good signs too. And so if you're looking then to determine, how do I know if this woman is even somebody that God would want me to consider marrying? Check out this video and I'll catch you later.